Well, hello Arsenal fans, Neomis here bringing you another video. Now, we've got about 21 days left in the transfer window and I thought, you know what, I'm tired of talking about transfers. Let's actually talk about games now. Now, we got Brentford on Friday and I thought it is time to talk about who we might be going up against. Now, I won't lie to you, I don't know much about Brentford and how they play. Now, there are a few players there just because of the Arsenal links that I've come across, like the likes of Ivan Toney and Josh Da Silva. But besides that, don't know much about them. Now, I thought I'd go through and potentially how they might set up. Done a few, had a background research on how they might go based on how they played in the championship. I see them probably making a lot of changes now, going up against Arsenal, first game of the season. In a way, could you say it's a bit like a London derby? Maybe, maybe not. Um, but nevertheless, it's sure to be a difficult game. I believe that they're going to go pretty defensive. I'm going to go with a 4-5-1 for Brentford. I don't think that they're going to play attacking football too much. And when you look at the players there that they've brought in, I haven't really seen much that they've brought in. There is this guy, Christopher Ajer, that's recently arrived there, centre back, who Arsenal were also looking at as well. I think he came from Celtic overall. Um, but besides that, haven't heard anything from them in terms of who they might be looking at. But I'm going to go with a 4-5-1 that they might play. And I think that the biggest issues that we have to worry about are their fullbacks and their forward. Now, I mentioned before Josh Da Silva, former Arsenal Academy product, is there and has done pretty well, to be honest. There was actually even a rumour about a year ago that Arsenal were looking at bringing Josh Da Silva back at Arsenal. This is at the time when I think we were rumoured with Tierney and Arsenal were looking at potentially bringing Josh Da Silva back. And listen, Tierney's been great, but wouldn't have had a problem with Da Silva in the first place. And it's a shame that we didn't keep him. Maybe I should go kind of find out why that is. Knowing Arsenal, it's probably one of those whereby he didn't see a kind of opening into the first team and decided to kind of leave. And you know what? Maybe he needed that opportunity to go out on loan and then get the permanent move to Brentford to kind of really develop his career going on. And you know what? There's probably a few Arsenal players there that really fit within that mold whereby going on loan would help for a few years and then maybe they might be ready to kind of play at a Premier League level or for Arsenal. I mean, De Silva now 22 years old. Transfer market has him in that he's worth about 9 million. So, strengthening our squad with him could have been an option there. Now, I mean, when you look throughout the team, there are quite a few names there that I just don't know. So if you're a Brentford fan watching this video, do let me know who we should be looking out for. Um, I believe I've heard of the name Christophe Baptiste, but he isn't worth very much. There's this guy, Norgard. He's worth about 3 million on Onyeka. Jensen, but supposedly he's injured. Um, Janelt. Lots of Norwegian players. I mean, what is... and Denmark players from Denmark, sorry. A few Finnish ones here. So, I mean, it's quite clear, where they've been looking at a lot of their kind of recruitment. Even striker-wise, there's this guy, Fors, Finnish player, 22 years old, that they have on the books there. And then there's a guy called Mbumo. He's a right winger there. He's their second highest valued player from what I can see there. Yep, second highest valued player apart from their goalkeeper David Raya, who Arsenal were also interested in as well when Arteta came in. Arteta wanted him at Arsenal, probably because he's Spanish and he's a decent goalkeeper, at least as far as I have been told. And then there's Ivan Toney, former Newcastle Academy product, who has just been scoring goals left, right, and centre for Brentford, and has he's put in the work, he's put in the graft, and You know, now at 25 years old, he's ready to play kind of top level football, and he'll have his opportunity this season at Brentford. And it's quite clear that now that he's back in the Premier League with Brentford, he's probably in the shop window for a lot of teams to the end of the season. And you could believe if he scores 15 or more goals at Brentford this season, I think that that would be brilliant for someone that, you know what, even though he was with Newcastle, he never really played in the Premier League in terms of regular games. So for him to do that at Brentford this season would be good. But is he going to cause Arsenal much problems? Now, looking at the preseason games that we've had, looking at the way how we've played, I really couldn't tell you what Arteta's going to do. You want me to be honest? Because if I go according to what we see, then Arsenal are playing a high line. And I think if you play a high line against a team like Brentford, especially someone like Ivan Toney, and I don't know much about their wingers, but I mean, they've got this guy, Wisa and Mbumo, who at least are said to be kind of like pretty decent wingers. You know that championship wingers have pace. Like, that is the one thing that over the years, championship wingers always had pace. Now, could they finish? A lot of the times, no. That's what made them championship players. They just lacked that consistency. But I do believe that they could cause us problems. And playing a high line, to be honest, in the Premier League, I just think it's just ridiculous. And the way how Arsenal are missing key elements in their starting 11 to be able to retain possession to whereby we don't get hit on the counter-attack. And I just feel it's going to be like how when we faced Chelsea a couple of weeks ago, whereby almost with every Chelsea attack, they were getting in behind on us so easily. And I hope, I really do hope Arteta learns from these preseason mistakes, because if he doesn't, if you think my reactions are going to be bad, everyone's reactions are going to be bad. No one is going to like it. And, you know, more so Arteta, because he'll probably be gone in some way, shape or form. And the pressure, I think, is on, because Arsenal haven't really addressed the issues needed to in the squad. But I think there should be an element of optimism for Arsenal. First game back, fans getting an opportunity to watch Arsenal again, particularly to anybody that's going away. It's their opportunity to go and watch Arsenal play. And it's going to be a little different. Now, if Arteta does lose this, and he shouldn't lose this, then it's going to be pandemonium. But if he does win it, it's going to be, that's another game, another week for Arteta and the pressure to kind of lower. But I mean, the next game after that, I believe, is Chelsea, which doesn't look good. But we'll get to that at another time. But the game against Brentford, even with the potential threats that they have, Arsenal have to win. Now, the starting 11 that I would put out here, and this is what I would put out here, because I can't tell you what Arteta would do. I'm going with Leno in goal. I'm going with a 4-2-3-1. And I'm going with Callum Chambers at right back. I'm going with Rob Holding at our centre back. I'm going with Ben White at left centre back. And I'm going with Kieran Tierney at left back. The two players I'm having in the midfield is I'm having Lokonga and I'm having El Nene in that midfield. I need defensive solidity and I need some creativity with also defensive solidity as well. And I think Lokonga could give you that. And we all know what El Nene could do, a sure hand. But if the game does get a bit testy and we need to do more, then I'll bring on my trump card, and that'll be Ainsley Maitland-Niles, to be able to provide us a little bit more energy, give us a little something going forward as well from that midfield position, because it looks, at the very least of right now, and I refuse to make a video on it, because I still can't believe Arsenal could be that stupid, is to go up and sell Joe Willock. So until I get a serious confirmation that Joe Willock has agreed to move to Newcastle, I'm not going to talk about it as such. Now comes to the biggest dilemma overall with what do you do with that front four behind the striker. Now, for me, up top, I'm making it simple. I'm going with Lacazette. That's my main striker. Apart from Eddie Nketiah, he's been the better one, has played the best. My front three behind him will be Smith Rowe at the 10. And I'm going to go with Saka on the left. However, I don't think that Saka should play the full 90 minutes. I think that Martinelli should come in to substitute for the last 25 minutes of the game, given Saka 65 minutes of football, and Martinelli giving him the last 25 minutes and injury time. And then I'm going to go with Pepe on the right. Now, Pepe and Martinelli should occasionally move around that front three, interchange between Smith Rowe as well, to confuse the defenders. Both wide players can play on both sides. We've seen that. And for me, Pepe looks better on the left because he becomes far too much predictable on that right side, and I think he could cause all type of problems on that left side, or which would be the Brentford right as well. So for me, Pepe has to at times get on that left side, which means that either he's going to pass the ball really nicely or he's going to take a shot. And I want Pepe to take more shots. Smith Rowe, we all know what he can do. Didn't have a great last game against Spurs, but I have a feeling that was because of what was around him. And then on the right, you know, at times it could be Martinelli. And for me, I know what Martinelli does. His dribbling ability, his ability to cause problems, get into that box, potentially take shots, put on great passing. I know he can do some damage there. So that's what I want. It'll also mean that if you have two inside forwards like Pepe and Martinelli, it creates space for Lacazette, because teams will then start focusing on those wide players being actual threats, that they'll start to divert their attention from Lacazette, giving him more space, and it means that potentially Lacazette could score more goals. And if not Lacazette, then Smith Rowe. And that's how it should go. Now, whether Arteta figures this out, I will have no idea. Chances are he'll find some way, shape or form to shoe in Aubameyang or Xhaka in the side. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, he'll probably find a way to shoehorn Willian in the side as well. But nevertheless, I'm going to go with a 2-1 Arsenal win. I do think that if he plays this the way in which I want him to play, which is the part that makes sense, Arsenal will get the win. But let's see what happens. I think this is going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. And we just have to get the win. And a 2-1 win, I think prediction is fair. But we got to start out, you know. If we start winning breeds confidence. And you never know. Maybe we could get a run going. Maybe we could do something against Man City coming up and Chelsea coming up as well. So it's a good opportunity. So let's go out and let's win it. Arsenal fans, I know things haven't been great at all in pre-season and in regards to transfers, but it's the first game of the season. You know, let's go out and support the team, and hopefully maybe some of that positive energy could kind of land on the players and they could go and perform even better. So leave your comments below on if you think how the game will go, predictions, lineups, Brentford fans. Let me know your thoughts on how you think the game will go. Interested to hear what you have to say. But until then, I will see you all on my next video, which, to be honest, will probably be sometime tomorrow, because I'm sure things are about to pick up in some transfer news.